sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, so today we're going to dive into something pretty interesting. We're talking about Nikola Jokic, the Denver Nuggets center. And we're going to look at an article from Sports Illustrated that kind of details some of his, some of his struggles with All-Star trivia. And just sort of look at, how this guy, who is arguably the most dominant player in the NBA right now, maybe even on track for his 4th MVP award, how he can, be so good at the game itself, but maybe not. Be so good at
So I mean,
NBA trivia and history.
What's really interesting about Jokic is he possesses this incredible basketball IQ. His court vision is exceptional. His passing is next level. And he just consistently puts up these mind-blowing numbers.
He is averaging nearly a triple-double this season. 29.7 points, 12.7 rebounds, and 10.3 assists per game. Not to mention shooting over 50% from the field, which is, phenomenal for a center.
Exactly. He's a statistical anomaly, really. You just don't see those kinds of numbers from a big man very often. It's almost like he's playing chess out there. And everyone else is stuck playing checkers.
Yeah, he's definitely got a unique style, that's for sure. But here's where things get interesting. And maybe a little funny. We have this article, as I said, from Sports Illustrated, detailing Jokic's, shall we say, less than stellar performance in some All-Star trivia.
Right. And it's almost like this unexpected contrast. Where you have this basketball savant who's just dominating the league. But then on the other hand, you had this guy who seems completely clueless with a pretty basic NBA history.
It's almost like two different personalities occupying the same body, right? So the article highlights this moment where Jokic is asked about LeBron James's first All-Star appearance. Now, for those who might not be super familiar with the NBA, the All-Star game is a huge deal. It's the best of the best coming together for this epic showdown.
Right. It's a showcase of the league's elite talent, a chance for the players to really let loose and, kind of put on a show for the fans.
Exactly. So back to Jokic. He's asked about LeBron's first All-Star game. And get this. He answers 1985.
Which is particularly amusing. Because LeBron James wasn't even born in 1985. He was born in 1984. So Jokic is off by a whole year. And not just any year. The year before LeBron was even born.
I mean, it's a pretty big miss, right? It kind of makes you wonder how much attention he actually pays to the history of the game. You'd think someone who's so deeply immersed in basketball would have at least a basic understanding of some of the major milestones.
Yeah, it does raise questions about the different ways people learn and process information. Jokic is clearly a kinesthetic learner. He excels at the practical application of basketball skills. But when it comes to the theoretical or historical aspects of the game, maybe he just doesn't retain information the same way.
Okay, so maybe he's not a walking encyclopedia of NBA trivia. But the article goes on to mention that he also flubbed questions about the 2024 All-Star MVP and the All-Star Game's single-point scoring record.
Yeah, and those misses are even more surprising when you consider the context. For the 2024 All-Star Game, Jokic actually played on the same team as Damian Lillard, who ended up winning the MVP award. You would think he'd remember that.
Right.
Playing alongside the guy in the same game, and he just completely blanks on it.
It's almost like he was so focused on his own game that he completely tuned out everything else
happening around him.
Yeah, it's he had these blinders on, and he was just completely locked in.
That could be part of it.
Yeah.
Elite athletes often have this incredible ability to just narrow their focus and block out distractions. It's what allows them to perform at such a high level.
Yeah.
Under immense pressure.
Yeah, so maybe all those details about who scored what and who won which award, it just wasn't registering in his mind at that moment. He was just locked in on the game itself.
That's a plausible explanation.
Yeah.
And there's something refreshing about that level of focus. In a world where athletes are constantly bombarded with media requests, endorsement deals, social media obligations, Jokic seems content to just be a basketball player.
Yeah, which, let's be honest, he's pretty exceptional at. But I'm curious, do you think this apparent lack of historical awareness could ever be a disadvantage for him on the court? Could it hinder his ability to anticipate opponents' moves or to strategize effectively?
That's a great question. While a deeper understanding of basketball history could potentially provide some insights into different playing styles and strategies, I don't think it's a critical factor in Jokic's case. His strengths lie in his intuitive understanding of the game, his ability to read the floor, and his exceptional passing skills. Those are innate talents that go beyond book knowledge.
So you're saying his basketball IQ is more about instinct and feel, rather than memorized facts and figures.
Exactly. He's not relying on what he's read in a textbook or seen on like ESPN Classic or something. He's processing information in real time, making split-second decisions based on his understanding of spacing timing, his teammates' tendencies.
It's like he's operating on a different level of basketball consciousness almost.
Precisely. And to answer your earlier question, I don't think his lack of historical knowledge hinders his ability to strategize or anticipate opponents' moves. If anything, it might actually be an advantage. He's not bogged down by preconceived notions or traditional approaches to the game. He's free to create and innovate, to play with a sense of spontaneity and unpredictability.
That's an interesting perspective. So instead of being limited by what he doesn't know, he's actually liberated by it. It allows him to approach the game with a fresh perspective, unburdened by the weight of history.
Exactly. He's not trying to fit into a mold or replicate the styles of players who came before him. He's forging his own path, creating his own legacy.
Which brings us to another intriguing aspect of this whole situation. You have a guy who, by all accounts, seems fairly indifferent to the legacy aspect of basketball. Yet he's on track to become one of the most dominant centers in NBA history. It's a fascinating paradox.
It is, and it speaks to the different ways we define success and legacy. Some players are driven by the pursuit of championships, the desire to etch their names in the record books. Others are more focused on the intrinsic rewards of the game, the joy of competition, the pursuit of excellence. And it seems like Jokic falls into that latter category.
He's not chasing fame or fortune. He's not obsessed with building a personal brand. He just loves to play basketball.
And that genuine passion shines through in his game. It's what makes him so captivating to watch. He's not putting on a show for the cameras. He's not playing for the endorsements. He's playing for the pure love of the game.
And in a way that makes his trivia fails even more endearing. They humanize him. They show that even the most talented individuals have their blind spots, their areas of disinterest. It makes him more relatable.
I agree. It adds another layer to his persona. He's not just this basketball robot programmed for success. He's a complex individual with his own quirks and idiosyncrasies. And that's what makes it so compelling.
So for all you aspiring basketball stars out there, take note. You don't need to be a walking encyclopedia of NBA trivia to be great. Focus on honing your skills, developing your instincts, and finding that pure joy in the game.
And who knows, maybe one day you'll be racking up MVP awards.
Yeah.
And flubbing trivia questions just like Nikola Jokic.
Speaking of MVP awards, we should probably circle back to the fact that Jokic is currently in the running for his fourth. Which is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, it really is remarkable to think that, he's managed to reach this level of success without seemingly being consumed by the pursuit of, accolades.
Right, it's a testament to his unique mindset. He's not letting external pressures dictate his approach to the game. He's staying true to himself, and it's clearly working for him. But here's a question for you. Do you think there's a chance that Jokic's, lack of interest in NBA trivia could be a deliberate choice? Maybe he knows more than he lets on, but he's intentionally playing up this, goofy, clueless persona.
That's an interesting theory. It would definitely add another layer of intrigue to his character. Perhaps it's a way of deflecting attention, of keeping the focus on his game rather than his personality.
Right. It wouldn't be the first time that an athlete has used humor or self-deprecation to manage their public image. It can be a powerful tool for disarming critics and connecting with fans.
And in Jokic's case, it seems to be working brilliantly. He's managed to cultivate this image of being this unassuming, down-to-earth guy who just happens to be a basketball genius.
Right. It's like he's saying, I'm not here to impress you with my knowledge of NBA trivia. I'm here to play basketball.
Exactly. And he does that exceptionally well. But regardless of whether his trivia struggles are genuine or a carefully crafted act, they don't diminish his accomplishments on the court. He's still a phenomenal player, a generational talent, and a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. So what does this all mean for Jokic's legacy? Will he be remembered solely for his on-court dominance, or will these trivia gaffes become part of his lasting image?
I think it's likely to be a combination of both. His basketball achievements will undoubtedly be the primary focus, but these moments of levity, these glimpses into his seemingly carefree personality, will also contribute to his overall narrative.
He'll be the guy who won multiple MVPs, led the Nuggets to championships, and maybe, just maybe, pretended not to know when LeBron James made his first All-Star appearance.
Exactly. It's a unique blend of brilliance and goofiness that makes him such a compelling figure.
Yeah.
He's not just a basketball player. He's a character, a walking paradox, and a reminder that greatness doesn't always come in a predictable package.
So the next time you see Jokic, effortlessly dropping dimes and dominating in the paint, just remember, there's more to this guy than meets the eye. He's a complex individual, a basketball savant, with a seemingly nonchalant attitude towards trivia, and a testament to the fact that you don't have to fit a mold to achieve extraordinary things.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into the fascinating world of Nikola Jokic. Hopefully you've gained a new appreciation for his unique talents, his quirky personality, and his remarkable ability to defy expectations.
We've explored his on-court dominance, his surprising trivia fails, and the broader implications of his seemingly selective knowledge. It's been a journey of discovery, laughter, and a healthy dose of head-scratching.
And as always, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the things that intrigue you. You never know what fascinating insights you might uncover.
Until next time, keep those minds curious. And those basketballs bouncing.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.